There is a strange truth about disrespect that most people never notice. The people who cross your boundaries are rarely testing your strength. They're testing your predictability. They expect the same reaction they've received from everyone else: anger, defensiveness, long explanations, emotional negotiations. The moment you respond exactly as they predicted, they know they've entered your mind. They know they can influence your emotional state. That is the real victory they were looking for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." He wasn't encouraging passivity. He was describing something far more difficult. When someone tries to pull you into chaos, refusing to become chaotic is the greatest display of power available to you. Respect is not demanded through volume. It is established through emotional sovereignty. Most people never learn that distinction. And because they don't learn it, they keep reacting and losing. They keep smiling through interruptions, absorbing cleverly disguised insults, and nodding at questions designed to corner them. Someone talks over you in a meeting. A friend drops a joke that's really a jab. A relative asks something that isn't a question at all. It's a test. And every time, you're expected to just absorb it. Smile. Keep the peace. Not today. What follows are 5 ways to answer disrespect without raising your voice, and without shrinking either. By the time we're through, you'll know exactly how to draw a line that people can feel without you ever having to say a word. 1. Let your eyes do the talking. Start with something deceptively simple: the extended, unreadable gaze. Sounds almost too basic to matter. It isn't. When someone crosses a line, they're usually fishing for a reaction, a stammer, a flinch, a sharp comeback, anything that proves they've gotten under your skin. Give them a flat, steady look instead, and the entire exchange turns on its axis. Here's the mechanism. Disrespect depends on your participation. It needs your discomfort to feel like a win. A calm, unblinking stare withholds that fuel entirely. It says, without a syllable, "I see exactly what you're doing, and I'm not going to help you do it." I watched this play out once in a strategy session. There was a colleague who had a habit of steamrolling anyone quieter than him, cutting in mid-sentence, talking over objections like they were background noise. I tried the usual things, raising my voice slightly, waiting for a pause that never came. Eventually, I stopped trying to compete for airtime. I just sat back, folded my arms, and looked directly at him. Didn't say a word. Held it for a few long seconds. The room noticed before he did. People started glancing between us, waiting to see what would happen. He faltered mid-sentence, lost his thread, and averted his eyes. He didn't interrupt me again that meeting. And oddly, his whole demeanor toward me shifted afterward, like he'd quietly reclassified me as someone not to test. There's something underneath this that goes beyond tactics, though. Holding that gaze is a small act of self-location, a reminder that you're not required to perform outrage or hurt on command. You don't have to defend your worth to someone who's already decided not to see it. So often, our instinct when disrespected is to justify ourselves, to explain, to smooth things over so nobody feels awkward. The steady stare refuses that instinct. It's not hostility, it's just unshaken presence. It also functions as a kind of mirror. Most people who disrespect others do it on autopilot. They've never really had to sit with the discomfort of being seen doing it. A silence, held with eye contact, does that work without accusation? You're not telling them anything. You're simply reflecting it back, and most people can't stand being confronted with their own behavior that plainly. I'll admit this took practice. I used to laugh off rude comments nervously, or over-explain myself when someone questioned me, and it left me depleted every time. Learning to just look, to let the silence stretch without rushing to fill it, changed that completely. It's a quiet form of defiance. Try it the next time someone tests you. Hold their gaze, let the moment sit, and watch how quickly the dynamic flips. That stillness tells them plainly, my self-respect isn't up for negotiation. 2. Make silence your reply. Here's an underused tool, saying nothing at all. It can feel counterintuitive, like silence equals surrender. It's the opposite. Silence, chosen deliberately, is one of the most assertive moves available to you. When someone lobs disrespect your way, they're often angling for engagement, an argument to win, a reaction to point to, some kind of proof that their jab landed. Refuse to hand it over. Let their words simply hang there, unanswered, and they're left alone with them. That unfilled space becomes its own kind of statement. This works because it denies the expected script. Disrespect is often a bid for control of the interaction, and silence quietly takes that control back. It tells them, "You don't get access to my energy." Sometimes the strongest message is the one you don't send. I remember dealing with someone who specialized in backhanded remarks, disguised as humor, the kind of comment built so you'd feel silly for objecting to it. One day, he took a jab at something I'd worked hard on, clearly angling for a reaction. Normally, I'd have explained myself or fired something back. That time, I just raised an eyebrow and said nothing. Let it sit there, awkward and unresolved. He fumbled, muttered something, and moved on. And he never tried that again with me. Something about the absence of a reaction made it clear there was nothing left to gain. There's a deeper layer here too. Choosing silence is choosing yourself. It says your peace outweighs their opinion of you, and that's not a small thing. We're conditioned to feel we owe people an explanation, a defense, a justification. Silence declines that obligation. It's not about winning the exchange, it's about not spending yourself on people who were never going to respect the answer anyway. Every unnecessary reaction you give away is energy you don't get back. This wasn't natural for me either. I used to think silence would read as weakness. Instead, I found the opposite. Every time I let a jab pass without dignifying it with a response, I felt lighter, not smaller. Next time it happens to you, pause, breathe, hold eye contact, and let the quiet do the work. It's uncomfortable at first, then it's liberating. 3. Quit justifying yourself. This one tends to land hardest because most of us do it reflexively. We over-explain our own decisions to people who never earned the right to ask. Someone questions a choice, a job change, a relationship, a no, and we launch into a defense, as if approval were owed. It isn't. Your life isn't a case you have to argue. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people questioning your choices aren't looking for understanding. They're looking for a foothold, something to needle, something that lets them feel more settled about their own decisions by making you doubt yours. You're allowed to simply not participate. Often, the discomfort behind their questioning has nothing to do with you. Your choice may be forcing them to confront a risk they never took, or a comfort zone they've never left. Asking you to explain yourself is really them trying to make your decision small enough to fit inside their worldview. Their discomfort is real, but it was never your job to manage it. I saw this firsthand when I left a stable, secure job for something far less certain, but far more mine. Suddenly, I was fielding the same question on a loop. Why would you do that? At first I answered fully, laid out the reasoning, the plan, the vision. It never satisfied anyone. If anything, the more I explained, the more openings I gave people to poke holes. Eventually, I tried something different. Next time someone asked why, I said simply, because I wanted to. No elaboration. And the silence that followed said everything. I'd taken the debate off the table entirely. People stopped asking because there was nothing left to argue with. There's real freedom on the other side of this. When you stop justifying yourself, you stop outsourcing your sense of rightness to an audience. Your decisions become enough simply because you made them, not because they survived a vote. That's not arrogance, that's ownership. Notice too that the most self-assured people you know rarely explain themselves at length. They don't need to. Their certainty doesn't require external confirmation. I used to build entire arguments to get people on board with choices that were never theirs to approve. What shifted things was a simple rule I made for myself. Answer briefly, once, and if they push further, let it go unanswered. Life got noticeably lighter. So, next time you're pressed for a reason, try, "It felt right to me," and then stop talking. Let the silence hold the weight. You'll find your decisions don't need anyone's signature to be valid. 4. Give yourself room. Sometimes the healthiest response to chronic disrespect isn't a clever line, it's distance. That can sound severe, even unkind, but here's the truth. Not everyone has earned ongoing access to you. If someone repeatedly disregards your boundaries, stepping back isn't cruelty, it's self-preservation. This isn't about cutting people off dramatically or holding a grudge. It's about being deliberate with your time and attention. Not every relationship deserves the same proximity. If someone consistently makes you feel diminished, there's no rule requiring you to keep them close. Distance does something valuable. It clears the fog. Kept near, people who chip away at you slowly train you to accept it as normal. Space lets you see the pattern for what it actually is. Protecting your peace this way isn't selfish, it's basic maintenance, the same as anything else you'd tend to before it broke down completely. I had a friend once who'd slip these little digs into every conversation, about my job, my choices, even things as small as my taste in music, always framed just lightly enough to seem harmless. For a long time, I brushed it off, assuming I was being overly sensitive, but it accumulated. I started noticing I was bracing myself before we spoke. So, without any big confrontation, I just quietly scaled back, from weekly to monthly, and the relief was immediate. I hadn't realized how much of that dynamic I'd been absorbing until I stepped out of it. People will tell you distance is disloyal, especially with family or old friendships. Society tends to reward endurance over boundaries. But enduring disrespect out of obligation isn't virtue, it's depletion. Protecting your peace isn't a betrayal of anyone. You are not required to remain someone's outlet. Seen from further out, this is really about priority. Space is a way of saying your well-being comes first, without needing to announce it to anyone. And every bit of room you create for people who drain you is room you're taking away from people who could actually add to your life. I used to feel guilty stepping back from anyone, worried it made me the difficult one. What I learned instead is that distance isn't about punishing someone, it's about making space to grow. So ask yourself honestly, who in your life is taking up room they haven't earned? As Epictetus put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Distance is simply choosing your reaction before the moment arrives. Deciding, ahead of time, how much access someone gets to your peace. 5. Stand like you mean it. Last one, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. Posture, how you physically carry yourself. It sounds too basic to matter, until you notice how much disrespect depends on you shrinking in response to it. Someone disrespects you, hoping you'll fold inward, avoid their eyes, make yourself smaller, stand upright instead, and you've already refused the terms of their attack. Confidence unsettles people who rely on disrespect as a tool, because that tool only works if you let it land. When you refuse to physically or emotionally contract, you're demonstrating that their behavior doesn't actually reach you, and that throws them, because their sense of leverage depends on your visible reaction. I dealt with someone who had a habit of needling me with little insults dressed up as jokes, always with that smirk that dares you to react. For a while it worked. I found myself dreading our interactions, always half-braced. Then one day, I decided I was finished performing smallness. I walked in shoulders back, chin level, and every time a comment came my way, I just met their eyes, smiled, and kept moving. Something shifted almost immediately. The jabs slowed, then stopped. It was as if they could sense the comments weren't landing anymore, and without impact, there was no point continuing. There's something almost provocative about this kind of steadiness, and it can occasionally paint a target on you. People who thrive on disrespect often resent someone who won't play along, but that reaction is about them, not a verdict on you. Standing tall isn't performed for an audience. It's an internal claim, a way of moving through the world as if your worth were already settled, because it is. Self-respect was never something you earn through consensus. It's something you simply decide to hold. I wasn't always like this. There was a stretch where I'd instinctively make myself smaller around criticism, avoid eye contact, soften my presence, hope to go unnoticed. What changed it was practice. Every time I chose to stand upright instead of retreat, something in me recalibrated. It wasn't really about the posture. It was about refusing to let someone else's opinion set my internal temperature. Try it. Next time disrespect comes your way, don't react. Just breathe, straighten up, hold their eyes, and let your presence answer for you. None of this is really about winning an exchange. It's about deciding, ahead of time, what you'll allow into your space and what you won't. People will keep testing boundaries. That's simply how it goes. But you get to set the terms of engagement every time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The people who disrespect you can say what they like. What they can't do is decide who you are, unless you let them. So stand tall, choose your silences deliberately, and stop apologizing for protecting what's yours.